This
Yeah, it's
conference will
types of
now be
malware.
recorded.
Okay. What is a malware?
Yeah, it's a script which working background of the system,
Mhm.
which affects a file which are working under the.
Okay. So what is the script? What is it? Script under?
Script on the file, executable file, which is
Mm-hmm.
working background of the system.
Okay. Script, uh, not exactly. Script written running behind the in the background. So that's not a malware. Running behind the system or background in the system. So that's not a malware. So many other processes also running in the system. So that's not a malware. What are the classes? See, malware is a script which is written to harm. So it's a main intention of it's a simple script which is written to which is written to damage your system or which is written to steal your information. That's the main function of the malware. So malware is also a script, and what it does, once it comes into your systems, so whatever the operating system files or other files, so either it will destroy the complete operating system files or it will encrypt the files which is there in your system. Important. So a lot of information is there in your computer. Like if, let's say if you are an admin or if it is some database server, so it is having a lot of information. Depends on the organization. If it is a health related, so it is having all the patient's information, everything. Mhm. So it's a very simple. You can say if somebody asks, it's a simple script which is written to harm the computer. So the intention completely is for a bad intention. There is no any good intention to do this. Okay. So what are the classes of malwares? So we discussed yesterday. So different kinds of malwares. What are the different types of malware?
It's virus, worm, Trojan,
Okay.
rootkit, spyware, keyloggers.
Mhm. Okay. So what is a virus?
Yeah, virus executable file
Okay.
which intentionally developed to steal the information from the system without
Okay.
any permission of the user.
Uh-huh. Okay. Any example?
Um, any setup installation softwares.
Mhm. Okay. See, virus is a simple code which is also written for the bad intention. What the virus will be adding to genuine software. Let's say there was a VLC media player or Microsoft Word or whatever the software, so which is regularly used by the users. One second. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me. Mhm. It's zones. Zones. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's been late actually, 10:30, so I was stuck with some other call. Can you reschedule me? I'll make it, you just send me a calendar invitation so that you know, because I was stuck with some other call, so that's the reason I'm not. Yeah, yeah, interesting. Yeah. Which location is it? Chennai only, right? Chennai or Bangalore? Bangalore. Okay, okay. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, fine. Please. So wires is simple code which is attached to any other genuine softwares. Like uh, there is a there is some software which is you're regularly using. Let's say there is a Microsoft Word. So whenever you try to open up, when you try to open Word, so what I'm trying to open, so uh, there will be a code which is attached to this Microsoft Word. So that Word, whenever you try to execute the Microsoft Word, it is also start the virus also start execute. So every time when it executes, so it will be placed in it will be replicated to many places so that but the intention what the intention either steal the information or destruction. So it performs a destruction. So after some time, so what happened? It was a keep quiet for complete replication. So it will be replicated to many places in the computer. So then it start doing its operation. So either stealing information or destruction. So that's what it virus will do. So the next one is worm. Worm is a what is a worm? So how does it comes into the how does it enter into your computer?
Yeah, main interest of worm is stealing of network resources.
Stealing or killing?
Stealing is
No, it's not stealing. The stealing in the sense. So if you have some sensitive information like the passwords, so they can
yeah,
steal. So killing of network resources.
yeah.
Killing is occupying a more bandwidth of your network. Let's say my network bandwidth is a 1 Mbps. Okay,
Okay,
so what happens? This worm is completely occupied as 1 Mbps, so that nobody can use that. Nobody can use that because see your pipeline is your pipeline supports a 1 Mbps data. More than it is almost a worm will occupy the 90%, 80%, even 100%. So what are so you cannot use your internet. You cannot transfer your data. So what happens? The business will be impacted. The customers, so they are doing an operation, they are doing some work. If the network is too much slow, so what happens? So their business will be impacted, and there is a lot of issues. So they cannot produce. They cannot give the. They wanted to submit some work. They want to give some work. Some reports or some data they wanted to share the client. So if their network is too much slow, and so automatically production will go. That's a worm. So it's a self-replicator. It's a completely
yeah.
self-replicator. So every time it reproduces it themselves, the worm itself completely reproducing, self-replicating and moving into the. So first it completely occupies the system resources, and then it will move to the network. My system, let's say my system, now my system having a band, computer RAM is occupied by 30 or 40%, then my system work around without any issues. If my RAM utilizes more than 90%, okay, then my system become slow. System becomes slow, network becomes slow, everything becomes slow, automatically your production will go down. Yeah, then the next one is a Trojan. So the Trojan, what is a Trojan? Trojan horse.
Yeah, it is. If we download an unauthorized software from unauthorized websites,
Hmm.
if you are using any software, if you're downloading it from a Play Store, it will be authorized software. If you download from an unauthorized website, means it will be looks like a same software which is using before, but it's not a authorized software. Um,
Yeah.
it may
Example.
lead to the thousand file. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have downloaded some Microsoft file from untrusted places, unwanted places, so that's not an actual Microsoft file. So it looks like a Microsoft file, but but it's not a Microsoft file. So it is embedded with a Trojan factor. So that it's completely whenever you open, so automatically the Trojan will drop into your system. So Trojan malware will be dropping into will drop into your systems, and then it act as a backdoor. So backdoor in the sense already told what is a back. So backdoor is a there is a entry created for an attack. So with the help of this entry, so the attacker can remotely control your system. That's a Trojan horse. So what is the next one? We have seen a differences also. Virus, worm, Trojan. Okay, we have seen three, all these three differences. So what is the next one?
Rootkit.
Keylogos. So keylogos is a which records the keystrokes of your system. Let's say if I'm typing something in my computer, so which records each keystroke.
Log files.
Yeah. So it is having all log files of what you have typed. So then that information will be sent to hacker, whoever attacker. So he will search for the keywords. Let's say if you enter a username and password for one of the server, so they will search for the keywords. Let's say password or something like that. They used to search in the notepad in that log file. So and then they'll get the usernames and password information. That's how the keylogger works. Spyware is a simple malware which spying your system. Spying in the sense it is monitoring your system. So what you are doing, all the stuff. It records your system activities. Even it captures screenshots of your system. Let's say now I'm doing some activity. The whole screenshot is captured by the spyware.
Expired.
So what else? Keyloggers, spyware.
Rootkit.
Yes. So the rootkit is a one. What it will do?
Yeah, it provides with the user with administrative access with
Uh,
this remote desktop connection.
yes.
Complete authorized to access the system. It will have the complete authorization to access the system.
A rootkit is the one. So the attacker can take the system remotely. Okay, as I said, as we shown yesterday, we can do this like this MSDST. You'll get a remote desktop connection. So with the help of remote desktop connections, so he will be able to enter your system. So already your system is infected with the rootkit, what happen? He will try to connect your system via remotely. It's a remotely he will establish a connection and he will control your system. And even in the system itself, again he creates remote connections, and then he will be entering your whatever the service you have access. So that is also he can. So what else? We have discussed vulnerability, risk, threat. Vulnerability, threat, risk. So we have we also seen yesterday the relationship between vulnerability, risk, and threat. We have seen the relation, right? Okay. So anything else we have discussed? Fine. So we'll discuss today couple of security. So the regular security terminologies, what the people uses in the security board. So if you are in a company, so what the people's conversations and their terminologies, what the terminologies they use in the regular daily activities. Okay. Okay. So first we'll see what is the breach. So did you hear what is a breach? What is the data breach? What is the normal meaning of breach? So in there is a people used to say that there was some breach. There was a security breach or
Exploiting.
sorry,
Exploiting.
exploit. No. So breach in the sense, let's say there was a guy. Let's say there was a cricket match is going on. Okay, if somebody from the stadium enter into your ground, comes enter into the ground. So and then he try to meet or he try to meet on other any of the cricketers. So that is called as it's a violation. So it's a violation. So there was a certain rules are there. So if you are crossing that rules, so that is a violation. So even violation we can call as a breach as well. So in a security, so the data breach. So the data breach is what? So let's say my computer data like username, passwords, a lot of information. It's your company information is keeping outside. It went to outside by intentionally or unintentionally, whatever the reason. So maybe kept for the intentionally by some attacker or unintentionally. So inside of your company guy kept outside means internet. Okay, that's an untrusted place. Okay, if you keep it in your untrusted place by intentionally, you did it intentionally or unintentionally. So unintentionally in the sense, so by mistake you kept. So that's called a data breach. So we will be seeing a lot of data breaches by doing the attackers. What he will do? He will completely attack. So he attack your servers, means he compromise your systems, and steal your all usernames and passwords. He's keeping into outside. That is an intentional. That is an intentional. So hope you understand the difference, intentional and unintentional. So unintentionally, let's say I am the user, my company, I am the user. In my company, what I did, I have some data. So some company's information, let's say I am having some email. So that email is related to some job related post email. So what I am doing is I am taking the complete screenshot of that job posting and I am keeping it to the internet. Means in somewhere in the LinkedIn or Facebook, saying that my company having openings. Where in that screenshot you are showing the HR's informations, HR email informations, and other who are there in the CC and do information. So if somebody outside guys who have the bad intention, they will take their email IDs, okay, and then even not only HRs, they are keeping so many people. Still, even TL is sending sometimes a job posting. So that information in the downside, his signature will be there, his email address, his phone number, everything is there. So that either takes advantage of this, and then he can do anything. So he will send a, will target that guy, the team lead, and say he will send a phishing emails. So that's how you're giving the information outside guys. You're giving information. So that is unintentional. Unintentional. You're not having any intention to create the bad or to do the bad for the company. So that is happening unintentional. Okay, that's called as a breach. So this is that's what a breach. So that's a data breach. So we were seeing a lot of data breaches. There will be a lot of companies are going through these data breach issues. So this is a site where you can see all over the world what happened. So what kind of attacks, this is a bleepingcomputers.com. So where you can see so what the attackers are doing, and so which company has been attacked recently. So all information. So see here, the phishing uses a layoff Zoom meeting alerts to steal the credentials. Okay, phishing attack targets a US payroll production program loans. Okay, a lot of, you can see a lot of. So this is a Trojan horse, buzzer backdoor. Right? This is a trick bot. So new stealthy network hacking malware. So there was a different malwares are coming up. Okay, see here, 40,000. So how much is this? 4 lakhs, I guess. 4 lakhs US South Korean card records put up for a sale. Okay, their payment cards related to US and South Korean financial organizations are kept in the internet. Okay, for sale. The hackers are kept into the data into the internet. See here the lot of the credit. See how much they are selling each credit or something like this. So Visa card is a $5. Okay, say now. So these are the different credit cards and debit cards. See, this is all our credit cards. Credit, either credit card, debit card, or whatever it is. So everything they are selling outside. This is okay. So this is the these are the guys invented. These are the guys find out that they are. This is the group find out that there was a certain there are certain hacker groups are selling the American and North Korean users trade and debit card. Okay, like that you can see a lot of information from this site. Okay, So what is a 0 day? So what is a zero day? So people used to call as a 0 day vulnerability. So 0 day vulnerability. So 0 day vulnerability means there was a software bug. Let's say there was some software or there was some server which is running with some web application. Okay, some web application. So this web application having some bug means there is a, while writing the code there was some loophole in the bug. So with that loophole, so if nobody find out that loophole, there is a bug is there. If nobody can identify that, okay, if nobody can identify that, that is a 0 day vulnerability. 0 day vulnerability means if there is a flaw or bug, so flaw or bug in the security in the code, and that nobody can identify. Okay, so that is called as a 0 day vulnerability. Again, 0 day attack is there. Okay. What do you mean by the 0 day attack? So if the attacker finds, this 0 day vulnerability, okay, and he successfully exploited or he successfully take the advantage of this vulnerability, and he can enter into the web application, or he can use that vulnerability, and he can successfully compromise the server. Okay, if there is a vulnerability, nobody finds, and the attacker finds there is a vulnerability, and automatically he comes and he'll enter into the server, and then he'll compromise a complete server, and then next, I don't need to say what if the server is compromised. So what he will do? Destruction, stealing, whatever you want to do, he will do it. Okay, that is the 0 day vulnerability. So that's why the Microsoft is always, Microsoft or any other security products, they keep on they regularly doing the searching. They are doing a researching of their products every time. Okay, to search for these kind of bugs or flaws in their servers. Let's say Microsoft is having a lot of products, so they have a server, they have Office products. Okay, they have operating system files. They have a lot of operating systems. They have a lot of operating systems, enterprise versions, client versions. Lot of versions or different kinds of products are there. So they always researching, and they used to find out a couple of bugs every month, and then they used to fix that. Okay, if these fly, they, instead of the Microsoft, if somebody finds, a bad guy find out this vulnerability, yes, automatically what happens? So before they fix the flaw or a bug, they will exploit the system, and they will compromise the device, and then the system will be hacked. Okay, that is called as that is the difference. That is a 0 day. So 0 day vulnerability and 0 day attack. Okay, any confusions? I'm assuming no confusions. So going to the next, the privilege escalation. So what do you mean by the privilege escalation? So privilege. So you are using your system. So your own system. So you are a privileged. You are a privileged user. So it means you are paying for your system. So you can do whatever you wanted to do in your system. You want to delete, or you wanted to you want to delete some of the files, some of the important files, you can delete it, and whatever you wanted to do, you can do it, because you are administrator. Let's say if you're going to the company, so your privileges are depends on the type of place you are working. Let's say you are related to sales department, so you have a certain access. If you are working on some other department, let's say you're an IT guy, IT administrator, so you have a full rights. Almost you have a complete privilege access because you are doing all the changes in the computers, all other users' computers. So that's why you have a full privileges. So you can modify, delete the files, and you can replace the files or whatever. Yeah. Let's say if the IT administrator privileges got by the attacker. So what happened? One company, there was a one company is running with 1,000 people. Okay, what happened? They they steal the IT administrator, IT IT engineer, username and password. So what happens in the company? So what's your what do you think if the administrator username and password theft by the attacker? So what happens?
You can fetch the details of the employees.
Yeah. So can Yeah, so he can gather all, he can take all the files in the systems, servers, so company servers, and he have a full rights to see how many users, who is a user, and he will be able to access all the users' files, the file servers. So whatever he wanted to do now, he can do. He can delete. Yes, he have rights. He wanted to replace. Yes, he can. He can, if he wanted to modify the data, yes, he can modify. So that's the reason. So the attacker, once he enter into your system, so how he will come into your system? Let's say he come into one of the user system. So what he will do, or the attacker want to modify the data, or attacker want to steal the data. So as a normal user, let's say he enter into the some sales guy system. Okay, some sales guy, normal sales guy means normal privileges, so he can't modify the data or he can't do any other deleting the files in this server. So if we want to do these changes, the normal user, so what he has to do, he has to escalate, his privileges. Escalating means like a promoting of his access levels. So normal user, from the normal user to admin, then the root level access, and the kernel level access. This is how the actual he will be jumping. So once he got the admin access, he will be jumping to the root and then kernel level. So the kernel level means, so actually he have a complete level. So admin, in the sense, admin itself, he have a complete access to everything. Okay. So that is called as a privilege escalation. Escalating is privileges to normal user to administrator user. So that will be the process. That should be a process he will do. So that's the next level. So you cannot, I cannot show you how he can do this. Okay. So that's advanced level. So advanced level, when you jump into the advanced level, so you can see how the normal user can escalate his privileges to admin level. So if you want to, if you are more interested, and so you have to jump into, just go to the YouTube and you can see. So the red teamers is the red teamers. They are the guys who will do these privilege escalations. And then if you want to see means, so in a So how the privilege escalation? So that you have to be a knowledge of Kali Linux operating system, and you have to familiar with a couple of security tools. That's the next level. Okay. And privilege escalation is aviation. So the meaning of aviation is bypassing. So imagine whenever the malware is developed, if the hacker develop the malware, what he will do? So the malware designing itself. So there will be a couple of security controllers. Let's say my system having the antivirus. My system having the antivirus run. So if the malware is there inside, if the malware is installed in your system, so the AV can detect automatically. The AV can detect. So that's the reason when the attacker is developing the malware itself, so he can also develop how to bypass or how to undetect it from the malware. Okay, the malware cannot see my existence in the system. So if a malware is running in the system, yeah, definitely the AV will catch the malware and delete the malware from the system, or alerting to the security engineer. So the hacker is designing the code in such a way that it cannot be detected by the antivirus. It is detecting what is the use of delivering the malware into your system. So that's the reason he always develop the code in such a way it has to it has to perform aviation in the sense bypassing a detection, bypassing of AV from detections. Okay, that is a aviation. So he will follow a lot of aviation techniques. So the attacker follows a lot of aviation techniques while developing the map. Okay, so that no security controller will detect. So the intention he has to hiding in the malware itself will be hiding in the computer. So that's how he will develop the code. So that is the aviation. So this is another word we'll be using as the security word. So we already discussed what is a malware. So malware is a script we already discussed, and to do virus, ransomware we'll discuss in another class. So Trojan horse we covered, worm also we covered, bot. So bot and botnet. So what is a bot? So did you hear this bot anywhere? We used to see it when you log into any of the websites, okay, of any of the training institutes, their websites. So you'll be getting a pop-up. You'll be getting a pop-up. There was some kind of robot the robot kind of toy will come and asking, so how can I help? Right? So once if you type something, yes, I need some help. I need this documents, or I need the the training schedules and the fees, everything. Once if you type, automatically you will be getting a reply. All right, you'll be getting a reply from that robot, that robot. I mean that toy. So that means it's a it's a script action. So it's a script. It's a script. They will develop a bot based on so how the script looks like. Whenever if you type something, let's say the institute fee. Okay, what happens is institute fee. So based on a certain keywords, it matches with a certain keywords. Let's say fees. So fees means automatically it will give the information of the complete all the fees structures information. Let's say if it is a training information, if you so that it matches with the certain keywords, let's say it's a training. So automatically it gives all the training schedules. Let's say you want specifically from specific course, let's say certified ethical hacker, CEH. Once if you give that CEH, it matches with the any other, it matches with the keyword and gives the complete CEH information. That is a bot, which is a automated. It is developed by the automation engineers. So automation engineers will develop this for simplifying their work. Okay. So in order to simplify your work, so they will develop this kind of bots. Okay, coming to the security. So the security, what the bot is, let's say my computer, and there were a couple of computers are running. So what the attacker will do is, so not only for even my phone also, let's say, just think anything, even my standalone system, it is not connected to any of the company's network, my standalone, my personal PC. When I'm trying to access any of the websites, okay, a couple of websites, maybe some genuine sites also, they will be having this bot. Bot is a simple script which is simply sitting in your. Once if you access this website, it will be coming into your system. So, but this script doesn't do any harmfulness to your system. It doesn't do anything. It's just sitting in your system. Okay, it's just sitting in your system. Okay, this bot. This is also kind of malware. We can call it as a malware. It does, but it doesn't do any harmful to your computer. But it do some bad, but not your system. It will do the bad for not for your computer. So it will do the some other activity which is a harmful. Now what happened? This will be controlled by attacker. Now like this, so the same malware he will be installed in many of the systems. Okay, same malware he installed in many of the systems. So not one system's 10 or 10 system or 100. So it will be thousands of systems. So we will install the malware. That malware in the sense it's a bot. So now, so all the systems are controlled by the attacker. Controlling in the sense he cannot enter into your systems. He can, whatever the instructions he is telling, it will follow. Let's say the malware is here. Okay, all the systems, the malware, the botnet is there. Bot is there. So now this is called as the same malware. Whatever he developed the malware, he showed all the systems, and so every system become a bot, and the complete network is called as a botnet. It's a botnet. The same malware he installed in many of the systems. Okay, and the complete this bots is called as a bot network. What the botnet will do? Okay, so attacker having one botnet means he have under the botnet he have 1,000 systems in his control. What he will do is he will perform a DDoS activities. So DDoS attack means, so he will perform a DDoS attack. Let's say I am a company, I'm an XYZ company I'm running. So I am providing some grocery services, like some emergency groceries and all I am providing. So I have another guy who is also running groceries. He's also providing a grocery services. Okay, online services. Okay, now this ABC guy want to down this XYZ service. So because he want to more demand. So because his sales are less than ABC sales are less than XYZ. So he will be XYZ sales are higher than the ABC, so that's why ABC want to down the XYZ sales. So what I will do, XYZ, he will go with the some attacker. Here, attacker, please down this server for couple of hours or couple of days. Okay, what this guy will do? He have a lot of bots in the systems. He have a lot of bots. Okay, now what he will do? He will send the XYZ server. This attacker, with the help of his bots, okay, he will send a request. So if you so 1,000 systems are sending a request, thousands systems are sending a request at a time. What happened? The XYZ can be able to provide only 100 computers per second. If the 1,000 computers came one at a time, so what happens? So he cannot provide he will be going into the hung mode, right? If I am able to serve in a minute of time, the 100 requests, if you are sending 1,000 requests, what happens? I can be able to provide the service. Let's say if I ask one question, and you will be able to answer in a 1 second. Okay, if I ask 100 questions, I'm saying you to give an answer in a 5 seconds. Will you be able to provide all the answers? You will be confused. You will be overloaded. 100 questions. So which question, which answer? You will not be able to. I say 100 questions. 100 questions I ask. Give an answer in a 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Will you able to answer? Will be able to remember all these 100 questions? But your capability is you can remember 2 questions in 2 seconds and you can answer 2 seconds. But if it is going overloaded, so automatically you cannot. You will be confused. The same way servers will be going to hung mode. So then what happens? The XYZ servers will go down. So the people will be going to another. Let's say if there is an Amazon. So who is a competitor for Amazon? Flipkart. So if the Amazon sales is down, Amazon server is down, people will automatically move to Flipkart. So that's how they provide this kind of attackers. Yes, we have in the world. So a couple of hacker groups are maintaining these botnets. So if you want to do some, if the company wanted to down any of the other company, so they will approach the company. That company will approach these hackers. So they are maintaining this complete botnet. So I cannot say that my system also will act as a bot. My mobile also will act as a bot, because when I am trying to visit any of the sites, any of the sites, whatever it is, even some genuine sites also. Let's say I'm going for some of the torrent file downloads, where you can see a lot of advertisement files or anything. So automatically something is downloaded that you're unknown. You don't know that. So that botnet, and then your system is acting as a bot. Okay. Once the attacker instructed you to send a request from your mobile, so it just send a request, doesn't do anything apart from, okay. It just send a request without your intention, you don't know, without your knowledge, it is going the request and hitting some of the server. Okay. That's a botnet. So bot is the one which is just a simple malware which is installed in your system, and your system act as a bot. If that common malware is installed in 1,000 systems and it is controlled by one person, and that is called as a botnet of That is called as a botnet. Okay. If the example soldier is a one guy in the India, one person, one soldier we can call as a soldier. If thousand soldiers we can call it as a army, right? The same way here also. Got it? Any questions? So yes, DDoS. So once let's say, so we have a lot of, so DDoS can be performed in many ways. So one example is a botnet. So all bots will send a request to one of the server. So then that is a DDoS attack. So what do you mean by the DDoS? Denial of distributed denial of service. So here the botnets are, so lot of botnets, all botnets, all bots are distributing here. So one, not only one, so 100 systems are distributing to deny the service. So 100 systems are, they are they are also key role to deny the service. Okay, that's why it is called as a distributing in the sense everybody is there in the activity. That's a, so what is that activity? Denying the service, whatever the service. Let's say American is providing some service means, so you're denying, you're stopping your service. Okay, that is a DDoS attack. So any questions?
Yeah, this one DDoS will be done only by the botnet or any other thing will be doing this.
A lot of it there. That's what botnet is a part. That is the one part. You can have a sync flooding attacks also there. So lot of this, so many. We will discuss the types of DDoS attacks. Okay. So we have a sync flooding. We have ICMP flooding. So what of is there? The botnet is the one which is also doing the distribution of denial of service. Denial of service.
Okay.
The next one is phishing. So we have a one separate session for you guys for what is the phishing, how we can do the phishing analysis. But now I'll tell you what exactly the phishing. So the phishing is the one, is a actual initial point to the attack. So in order to gain access to any of the system, let's say the attacker want to enter into your network or enter into your inside of your network. So the initial entry point is the phishing. So he wanted to enter into the company's network means he uses a phishing and he will be entering into the network. Phishing is a simple definition is, so just tricking the user by sending a couple of emails. Let's say I'm sending to you that, hey, you have won couple of, you won 1 lakh rupee or 10 crores of information, 10 crore rupees. Okay. So in order to get this 10 crore rupees, please click this link or please open this attachment. Okay. So once the user sees that, once the user see that, you know, it's phishing, it's attachment, they start opening that. So they will be tempted. Oh yeah, I got some 1 lakh rupee or 10 lakh rupee. So in order to get the more information, so they will say, in order to get the more information, please visit this site. So automatically people will be attracted a lot to that, and then they will click the link. So once they click the link, so and the next is It's the next what is going to happen is a bigger. That's the big picture. So, and let's say another case where a couple of so the malware, so the attacker will send saying that it's been a very few years before they are sending the malware by attachments that email contains a I love you. So what do you mean I love you? The people are more tempted by seeing that I love you, and then there was something love letter or something attachment in the form of attachment. So if you want to see that, so please see my love letter in the attachments. So they will start, oh yeah, something, they will be more tempted in that, and then they will start opening that attachment. So the attachment name contains the love letter, and the subject line also the same, or something I love you. Your the name contains your name will be there, and then I love you, and it will be there. So coming from some lady, some girl, it is saying that it comes from some lady. The name, the lady name also there. So they started opening that. They will be attracted more, and then they will open that attachment. Once they open the attachments, the rest is we know. The rest is what is gonna happen. So that is the phishing. So simply tricking the users by saying that some information, and also the phishing image looks from coming from some trusted one. Okay, so we used to see nowadays we used to see a lot of phishing emails which come from the HRT or bank, coming from the banks. So the bank contains that email contains the statement, bank statements. So the people used to try to open that link, means, or they open the attachment, the bank statement. So yes, they are a victim of, once they open the attachment or link, then they are a victim to the attack. They are a victim of the hacker. They will be, then we know once they open the attachment. So the rest is it's a big story. What gonna happen? Okay. So DMZ. So it's not a security terminology, but it's a DMZ is a one where, so we have discussed in the network and security components. So where I think somebody asked what is a, I think the Keetna asked what is a DMZ, dematerialized zone. So dematerialized, yeah. So the dematerialized zone is where you are keeping your servers. You're keeping your servers in a separate network, and that in that separate network, so that's specially designed to access the public people. Okay, let's say I already shown the diagram last time. So how the DMZ will be there? DMZ will be placed in separate network. So let's say this is my company network. Okay, here a lot of devices, everything, firewalls, IPS, IDS, a lot of things. So this is my company private network, and here is the internet. This is the internet. So this is our private network, and this is the public network. The DMZ is your company private, your company information only, your company servers only. So you're placing in a other network. Okay, it's a separate network again. Okay, so it is not a private network. This is a separate network, so which is placed in the internet. And you're keeping some security controllers like the firewalls, and that should be accessible by the internet people. Okay, internet people want to access your couple of services. Let's say there was a couple of web applications, or some other services they want to access. So what the company will do, they will create one separate zone, and they will be placing it into the internet. So means their private network the company private network is placed into the public network. And so why they are placing? Because the people has to access the resources from the DMZ. So the DMZ, if you see the DMZ, all the DMZ having a web services, web applications. So all web applications are servers are placed with the DMZ. So why they are going for a separate network instead of private network? So if the user want to access, let's say every web server is placed in the internal network, the company ABC internal network. What happens? So every time user has to enter into your private network. So this is your private network. So public users or outside users are every time he has to come and he has to access. So that was a kind of risk. That was a kind of risk because not only web servers. So there were a lot of your company's assets, your company devices also there. Okay. Okay. So that's the reason. So there was a risk is involved every time when the user is coming and enter into your network. That's the reason. So they are placing all web services. Okay. The let's say Amazon. So they can't showcase their public, their private information, their private, the company's assets and all. They won't share. They only all the web services, all the services. Let's say they are providing the prime services, or they will be providing some the delivery services, groceries. In the delivery services, you have a lot of groceries, a lot of appliances, all that. They will be placed into some separate zone. That is the dematerialized zone, DMZ. So everybody will be everyone who is accessing their they want to access their services. They will go to the dematerialized zone and they will get the they will access the information. So that they cannot enter into the company's property, company assets. They want users cannot aware of the internal what is happening, internal organization, how it is. They doesn't aware. If they wanted to access means they will directly go to the DMZ. So the DMZ will be providing all the services. It will be placed in the internet, and that is owned by the company. Company property itself, company network itself is placed in the public network, and in the public network they are placing a couple of again. So in order to protect these DMZ, because it is there in the internet, it is not there. It is not a private network. It is in the public. It is hosted in the public. Okay, it is posted in the public, and they are keeping a couple of security controllers like the web application firewalls, because everything is accessing by everything access related to web application. They are using a lot of web related things. So that's why. So they are using the web application firewalls. So web application firewall will be looking into the HTTPS traffic, web traffic, layer 7 traffic. It always see. Okay. So that is a DMZ. DMZ is a separate zone. So it is not into a company's private network. It's a separate zone. There are a couple of servers are placed in the couple of web servers, database servers are placed in the DMZ. Okay, any questions on it? DMZ?
No.
So patch in the sense patching, security, device patching. It will say device patching. So patching in the sense, so there was a bug in your server. There was a bug in your software design. So that is a loophole, that bug. So it's a kind of open window to. It's a kind of open window. Let's say if you have a house and your house doesn't have a window or a door, if you don't have a door, what happens? Anybody can come and enter into your house. So there is a chances that even animals also come and enter into your home. It's a harm. There is some threat is there. So that's why you have some doors, windows, So that make sure you have to protect yourself. Okay. So that's why even the security also, while developing the codes, there was a the coder will do the mistakes. The coder, the software developer or coder will do the mistakes while developing a particular web applications. So always the bad guy will always seeing this. So what are the loopholes in the so it's a easy for developing. So always the people developing a people other than people, the bad guy is always seeing the mistakes or the loopholes. Let's say I am doing some work, example. So I'm doing a lot of work, and another guy who's always watching my work and he's trying to tell what was a wrong I'm doing. Okay, I'm doing a lot of work, but the other guy, bad guy, is always intention is to, oh yeah, what mistakes he was trying to do. That's a bad. In the same way here, the coder also, he was doing a lot of hard work and he developed the code and he developed the web application and everything. There was a slight mistake. There was a slight problem in the code. With that problem, they can take the advantage of that. That's the reason. So in order to stop this, there was that flaw you have to closing of that flaw or bug in your web application or your web thing. So that closing of this called as a patch. So you're patching that whatever the hole is there, whatever the loophole is there in your software application. So you're just going and you're patch so that nobody can enter into that, nobody can take advantage or nobody can come into your servers with that loop. So you're patching in the sense, so you're doing some changes in the code and you will be modifying, you will be, so that's a patching. So patch management. So there was a separate team called as a patch management. So they always they always look for the vulnerabilities in the servers, applications, all the stuff, and finally they will patch. They will do the patches so that the security, that device is safe from the attacks. So last one is honeypot. Honeypot is a device. This is a device. Honeypot is a device. Let's say here, what the security controls, security defenders, like security guys means whoever protecting their company, they will keep a honeypot in their company network. So this honeypot looks like some web server. It acts like a web server, but it doesn't have a web server's information. It is contain all dummy information, all dummy, so which is not useful information, but it appears like a web service. Now the hacker is there, so this web server is having it acts like a web server. It is having a couple of vulnerabilities. Okay, so once the hacker finds, oh yeah, this one is vulnerable, they are so happy. Yes, I have hacked this, or I get a chance to enter into the web server. Once they enter into the this honeypot, and they will be doing some modifications, and they will be there in the longer time. They will be there in the longer time. They will be hiding their activities, everything. But this is not a web server. Remember, this is not a web server. This is a dummy device. Okay, this is monitored by security control. This is monitored by security controllers. They thought that the hacker thought that this is a web server, but it is not a web server. This is like a security controller, security guys as it is this he is using it as a kind of, we can say, as what we call as so chapel button eraser. So the same way ala erase edaniki. So what he will do, security guy, he will keep the honeypots. Okay, he will keep the honeypots, and the attacker will come and will be doing a lot of activities. So he will capture what he was doing. He will be monitoring the honeypot. Security guy was always monitoring honeypot. So what he was trying to do in the honeypot. But for the hacker, what he was seeing a honeypot, or he was seeing a web server. He's seeing a web server. His view, he thought it is a web server. Oh yeah, he was so happy and he was trying to do a lot of activities, all the stuff. So finally, after a couple of days, the hacker, the honeypot will capture all what he was doing, activities. Even security administrator also monitoring every activity doing by the attacker. So finally, understand what the attacker is doing. So their intention is to what the attacker is doing, and so how they gonna impact if there is no honeypot. So they will assess that, and then finally after a couple of days they will finally come to know, they will finally take all the honeypot logs, and then they will block that hacker activity. There is no impact to the organization. So he is touching not the actual web server. So it's in Telugu we can say as a chapel erase. He was attacker kuda, so వాళ్ళకి erase. So but there is no nothing impact to the organization. So that is that's a honeypot. It's a honeypot is a more interesting security device. Okay, so every companies nowadays, every company have the honeypots. They are placing their honeypots in order to attract the attacker and what they are trying to do. Okay, that's any questions?
Yes, I'm confused about privilege escalation. It is like who will be having a full privilege to delete or edit?
No, sorry, who have?
Like in privilege escalation, who will be having the full privilege to edit, replace, or delete? Like
Admin.
Admin.
Yeah, so admin can do that. So if you're
Okay.
working for one company, so there will be IT administrator will be there. So what they function about function. So whenever new guys are coming, so they will be
Yes.
creating their user accounts, and they will be giving the permissions, and they will be adding to the domains. So everything is doing by the IT administrators. Okay. So
Okay. Then escalation, what
yeah,
it
escalating,
exactly
yeah,
mean?
normal. Escalating means normal user to privileged escalation. Normal, let's say I am the normal user, my system. So IT administrator having a privileged level access. So these I am only have the read only access, read only, write only access. So I don't have a couple of softwares to install in my system. So I'm a normal user. So whenever whenever your account is created in a company, so let's say your account is something like of something like xyz.com. So they created a domain account. So after creating your domain account, so they will give you the privilege level. Privilege in the sense what permissions, what level of access you need. So if you are working in some sales team, let's say example. So in the sales team, so the privileges are you need only privileges to access certain things. You cannot install any software, you cannot download any software, okay, and you cannot install any software in the control panel, okay. So you cannot couple of servers, you can go to the couple of servers and you can access the couple of customers information, but if you cannot delete it or you cannot change the data, what is the content inside the file, that is your privilege levels, that is given by the system administrator based on your designation, based on your work. if you are if you are if you are like a server admin, okay, you are a server admin, so you are handling couple of Windows servers. So then you need a more privilege in the sense, in order to gain the access of any of the system. So you need more privileges. Okay, I need in the specific server. I want to install a couple of softwares. Then I need more privileges. So then you will be getting a certain higher privileges, like admin level privileges. So in the admin also, there were different kinds of admins you will be again. So if they will be added to the domain admins, they will be adding to the local admins. That's a big concept. So if you are into the local admin, so you have a certain access. You have a better than normal user access. Okay, if they got your local admin access also, the attacker got a local admin access also. So do he can do whatever the file modification he can do. That's a privilege. So the main thing, when he got any of the system access, any of the server access, he will escalate it to his privilege levels. So now he's into a normal user, and from normal user to he will be escalating in the sense promoting, or we can even higher. It can also call as a hiring is not hiring, whatever from certain access to more access. So general meaning of the privileging in that sense, kind of upscale, or we can call even upscale or something like that. So promoting himself to the higher level, so that then only he will do the changes, right? So that's the privilege case. That's what he will do. So first, whenever he enter into the computer, and then what he will do, first he will try to hide his activities, hiding. So let's say if I am doing any changes, what happens? Automatically my system create a log. Let's say even if I open like this, just a click also, there will be a log generated in the operating system. There will be files in the operating system. There will be a couple of files are there in the operating system. That file will be recording each and every of activity of your system. The log will be generated. So what happens whenever a hacker is coming to your system? So automatically what happens, that there will be log will be generated. He is doing something, some any changes also, bit changes also, there will be log created. The log created, at the same time that logs will be monitored by your AV. The AV will give an alert that, oh yeah, something is wrong. Okay, some registry files changes, some registry level changes. Oh yeah, something is wrong. So AV will be that. So that's why whenever the log created, the log creation, automatically he will delete the log. So that's how he will develop the malware. He will develop the malware. Okay. And after that, he will be going to privilege escalations, all the stuff, bypassing the security controllers. After that, he will be jumping into the other systems, and then after that, like that, he will be continuously spreading the infection, and then finally, the whole data will be, whatever he captured the data, whatever he steals the data, he will be sending to his attackers. That a malware will be sending the data to servers, attacker servers. So your bank accounts, everything will be, let's say they attack the server, one of the web server, banking web server. So that banking web server having all the users' passwords information. So that's called exfiltrating. Exfiltrating means uploading users' information to attacker servers. So attackers are maintaining the servers, so that they will be sending. Uh, yeah, yeah. That's a privilege escalation. Any questions?
What is it is just like a malware implemented by
Yeah,
the hacker.
yeah. So it doesn't do any harmful to your system.
Okay, if it is connected to many system, like it will, like we will be facing a DDoS.
Yes. This way, 100 systems having the same board, same malware. All the malware is acting as a one network. That network is created by the one attacker or one attacker group, and it all these bots follows the attacker's instruction. So that also, in terms of your system doesn't impact your system stealing information or that level of it's not at that level of malware. It's only doing some activities like sending a request. Let's say the attacker requested that, hey, please send a request, please send a synchronized packet to one of the server. Okay, that just he will upon receiving a request, so it will send the request. That's all. It doesn't do other than anything. Krishna, Mr. Krishna, you're listening? Krishna, go through a couple of this one spoken English kind of stuff. Okay, go through a couple of open sources, and this one you'll be getting a YouTube, all this where go to the spoken English, all the stuff, and improve your English skills, speaking skills. So once you enter into the organization, వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత you do not face any difficulties, na?
ఓకే
Krishna,
ఓకే
so joining ఎప్పుడు నీకు జాయిన్ ఎప్పుడు అవుతావు నువ్వు?
జాయినింగ్
20 చెప్పమంటావా? 20